Thank you. Thank you to you all for being here today in the freezing cold as we come together again in solidarity and prayer for the safe return of all the innocent souls tragically still being held hostage. This week we were grateful to see the release of some of the hostages. I want to specifically mention two of them, Daphna and Ella Eliakim. These two young girls, aged 15 and 8, are not just names on a news headline or statistics in a conflict. They are part of our family. Their mother, Mayan Zin, is my husband's first cousin. While we are relieved they are home, the psychological scars they carry are heartbreaking. Many of you will know how they were horrifically abducted from their kibbutz, Nachal Oz, and taken to Gaza. Their mother, Mayan, and the entire family spent every single day of their 51 days in captivity, not knowing if the girls were safe. It was excruciating. For those who are not familiar with the specifics, I will recap. Daphna and Ella were with their father, Noam Eliakim, at his home in the kibbutz, along with his partner Dikla and her son Tomer. They were there to celebrate Simchat Torah and the kibbutz's 70th anniversary. A big celebration had been planned and arranged for months. The kidnapping of Daphna and Ella that fateful day had an added chilling dimension. The heavily armed terrorists who broke into their home documented the attack live on Facebook, recording the family seated in the living room, where they were forced to identify themselves. This video is how Mayan and the rest of the family and friends discovered the horror. In the live video, Noam is shot in the leg and seen bleeding heavily while confirming his name to the camera, as Daphna cries beside him. 8-year-old Ella is sitting on Dikla's lap, Dikla holding her close. Dikla's other arm is reached out to Tomer, aged 17. We see Tomer then being taken outside and ordered at gunpoint to convince the neighbors around the kibbutz to leave their safe rooms. When the neighbors opened their doors, they were either murdered or kidnapped. Tomer had no choice in doing this, but he was also told if he would follow these orders, he wouldn't come to harm. His body was found a few days later. A few hours after the Facebook Live video, Hamas released a photo of Daphna and Ella sitting on the floor in Gaza, their shorts replaced with long, modest clothes. It was a cruel confirmation that they were being held captive. As the days passed, the news of the confirmation of the deaths of Dikla, Tomer, and then Noam reached us one by one. We heard that their deaths were so violent and brutal that the bodies could not be ritually prepared for their funerals, as per Jewish tradition. Mayan publicly shared that both daughters were born after intensive IVF fertility treatments. She continually said, "I have nothing left to ask of this world but this. If you can't bring back my girls now, I'm asking you, I'm begging you, take me to them now. Put me in Gaza, I will be the next hostage. If only I could hold them and tell them everything will be all right. Hug them and tell them that Imma is here. No matter what, Imma is here." After 51 traumatic days, Mayan, thank God, was finally able to hug her two beautiful girls again in an emotional reunion. But the journey to recovery is just beginning. As Mayan said, the girls are returning to a new and complex situation, and now we have a period of recovery that will take time. It is joy mixed with sadness. Joy for my daughters who are here, and sadness for those who have not yet returned. My heart will not be whole again until everyone returns home safely. These two precious, resilient sisters are now home and continue to share an unbreakable bond. Their living conditions for the 51 days were horrific. They had both lost weight, having had little food. They didn't shower for 51 days and slept on benches. Much more will be revealed in time, but right now the focus is on their recovery. From the trauma of being abducted by Hamas and witnessing their father's horrifying murder right before their eyes and being terrorized right until their release, this will certainly be a very intense psychological healing process. But amidst all the darkness, there was one thing that kept them and their fellow hostages going: achdut, unity. They shared support and often shared their limited food with the weaker ones. They kept each other strong. This is the essence of Judaism. We need to keep strong and united. Each hostage will come home. There is no other way. On behalf of all our family, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you with all my heart for your continued prayers and support. The Rebbitzins of our community, Eva Chapa, Leah Hoch, Hadassah Chai, and many others from different communities, my dear Nivi, and everybody who's been proactively campaigning constantly. Your continuous words of positivity, strength, and inspiration has made all the difference in the world. Now let's focus our efforts on returning dear little Kfir and the remaining hostages and to the physical and emotional recovery of those who have returned. Next week, we celebrate Hanukkah. We know that a flicker of light always dispels any darkness. Good will always prevail over evil. Bring them all home. Bring light and healing to all.